he ended up in jail and getting shot up.
What is up, everyone, and welcome to episode 21. I am your host, Alanized, and this is Noche de Pendejadas. Para todas las pendejas allá en casita que no saben qué es esto, escuchen pendejas. Noche de Pendejadas is a weekly episodic show where I go ahead and bring your favorite influencers to chismear, have some cocktails, and see what the fuck they've been up to. So si tú quieres ver a tu influencer favorito, hazme un pinche favor, pendeja, and drop their usernames down below. La semana pasada, you guys, ustedes vieron el episodio super caliente de Bramty, y esta semana les traigo a alguien just as exciting. Please help me welcome tonight's guest, Afrika. Hello, baby.
Hi, baby.
I feel like this episode was a little in the making.
Yeah.
We had a little complications to get you here, but she's here, y'all. Estamos planeando este episodio when? Like maybe 3 weeks ago?
3 weeks ago.
Your schedule got super fucking busy that we had to like switch everything around, pero aquí estamos.
Aquí estamos, aquí listos.
So for those of you guys that don't know, I'm gonna go ahead and switch it over to Afrika para que ella les diga un poquito de quién es y qué hace.
Hey guys, I'm Afrika Gee on Instagram. I'm from LA, currently living in LA, and I run 3 companies: fashion clothing brand for fitness supplements, and also fitness bands. So that's really like my whole thing, just fitness, healthy lifestyle, and fashion.
And you're an Insta baddie. You know what's so crazy, you guys? Para decirles, the last time I spoke with you, I think we're at a party bus, because I feel like every time I see you, we're at a fucking party bus. The last time I spoke with you, like on a real level, we're talking about how like you're so successful, but you really are not on your social medias like that. Like you're a different type of success. You're like that, like working in the back success. In the recent years, te has estado más alocándote más on social media, but I feel like before you were working so hard behind the scenes.
Thank you.
It's so crazy. Like when I really like look at Afrika, like you see her pretty face, just an Instagram baddie, and you see her on Instagram, like a lot of the time, you guys, I feel like a lot of people think like all these Instagram baddie girls, like that's all they are, like the baddie. Y ya. Pero tú eres face, brains, and everything, bitch. Like she gives it all. And it's crazy because for those of you guys that don't know, me and Afrika go back to like Santa Ana.
True. Oh, Santa Ana.
That is crazy,
He threw the
girl.
whole city out there like Santa Ana, Santana.
Yeah, it literally is,
You
because
gotta
you
say
know
it
what's
right.
crazy?
Santana.
Santana, bitch. A little Santanero moment.
Right.
It's so crazy because when I started seeing Afrika pull up to like these events and started like, you know, I started seeing her more and more often. I remember hasta te pregunté, no?
Yeah.
I was like, hey, are you that Afrika from like Santana, Africa?
And I'm like, ooh.
And she's like, no, I'm not.
No.
She's like, de esa no hablamos.
That's my twin.
Back in the day, you guys, I'm talking about high school days,
Yeah.
before social media was like a thing.
Big.
We didn't go to the same school, but su nombre sonaba mucho. Why? Because you were a Latina with a African, well, not even an African name. You just had the country's fucking name, the continent or country,
Continent.
whatever. Continent, bitch. I'm over here like, I'm like, educate me, babe. But that's crazy. It's crazy that we go hella back.
I feel like when I moved to Santa Ana, a lot of people would always like, not, they wouldn't bully me because I wasn't the one nor the two, but they would always be like, oh my gosh, her name's Afrika and she's Mexican, and that was the whole topic. And then para chingarla, my last name is Chow and it's Chinese, and it was like Afrika Chow. That's like my actual legal name. And a lot of people would be like, but why Africa? Like, and then they would make fun of my accent. Back then I had an accent, like a very thick LA accent, and people would be like, why does she talk like that? She has an accent. I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought I was talking proper. I feel like I could do both. I feel like when I'm in a like friend setting and I'm with my homegirls and estamos cotorreando y todo, I can really just get very ghetto because that's my roots, you know what I'm saying? But I am a 4.3 GPA student. Like I graduated top in my class and everything, and then in college I have my bachelor's. I was in honors in college, university, the whole thing. So I feel like I also have that like book smart and street smart both in me, and it's just like it comes out depending on the person. So if I don't know you,
which is so weird that like
you're gonna have
like you said, there's not a lot of people that can have that combination, the book smart and the street smart. And I feel like that's why I say you have it all, bitch. When you be like, what does Afrika bring to the table? Bitch lays it flat. And she's like,
I'm the table, bitch.
We're gonna go ahead, you guys, y vamos a empezar con el pinche chisme, porque yo sé que ustedes para eso vinieron. And we're gonna go ahead and go over to chisme and cocktails. All right, you guys, so como pueden ver, you don't drink too often, right?
I don't. But like I used to fucking drink. I was a bartender.
Yeah.
Like
oh, shit.
back in the day, so I was drinking.
And I feel like starting now with your fitness journey and lifestyle.
It just doesn't align
But I'm
too
like, you know
much.
what? We're gonna drink aunque sea un poquito hoy, you guys, para el show. Pa arriba, pa abajo, pa el centro y pa adentro. A ver. I stay drinking Trulies, you guys. You'll never catch me drinking beer.
I love beer.
Oh, you're a beer girl.
I love beer. And it's so ghetto because I'll have like my fucking beer in my hand and everyone else is drinking shots. And I'm like,
You're with the caguama, bitch.
I love beer, but I mean, it's so bad. And then the amount of times you have to go pee and get up, no.
Antes de empezar, I want to know more a little bit about you. I want to know, your childhood, everything you've been through to get to the Africa that you are today.
I think when people first get to know me, they see me with like the glitz and glams of it because that's like my life, right? But a lot of people the people who know me and know my story, but the people that are kind of new don't really know that. When I moved to Santa Ana, I had gone to Venice High School. 11th grade, they moved me to Santa Ana, and that's because I entered like the foster care system. My mom had left to Dubai. I didn't have anyone really. Like my dad, yeah, but he was living in like a room with like 5 other men, and it just wasn't the environment for me to live in. And although he's present in my life, it was just not possible for me to be able to live with him. So I went into the foster care system, and to not go into like group homes because they wanted to like move me and everything, my aunt decided to become my legal guardian. And so my aunt Angie, shout out Angie, she became my legal guardian till 18, and yeah, it was rough. It was rough in the beginning because I didn't have anyone to really tell me what to and what not to do. So I'm a 15-year-old girl getting tattoos, dyeing my hair red, was just living the fucking life and just being everywhere I shouldn't have been.
Yeah, being a loca.
Being a fucking loca, una desmadrosa, una pinche, like, no. That led me into a lot of trouble. Like, a lot of trouble. Although my school, I never let that shit, like, drop. Like, I was this crazy-ass girl running away from home and doing all this shit, doing all the things that a child, like, not a child, a teenager does. But my school shit, I was like, no.
Like, it was prioritized.
Like, it had to get done because I feel like I grew knowing that that was my gateway out of poverty or out of, I'm a dreamer. I came into this like country. Well, my mom came into this country and she wanted better. And you get the same pláticas que todos agarran. Tienes que seguir estudiando, pa adelante, el sueño americano y todo eso. Entonces, that was always ringing in my head. And I was exposed living to LA, to Beverly Hills, Hollywood, the glitz and the glam, and I knew I wanted to be there.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be in the outskirts in the hood in LA. I wanted to be in.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people don't know that about me and everything I had to go through to get to where I am.
How was it like, doing that transition from moving to LA to the hood of Santa Ana? Because if you're from Santa Ana, I love me some Santa Ana, but bitch, Santa Ana can get hood.
It's fucking.
Actually,
a lot of people don't know.
A lot of people don't. Yeah, no, it's
Santa Ana
very fucking hood, you guys. A lot of my friends were like into that shit, and they would just drag me, bitch. There was times I've gotten like shot at. I've done a whole story time.
Like,
how was
that's
that
the thing.
culturally? Like, was that a shock to you?
That was a complete culture shock. Like, don't get me wrong. LA is a hood. I'm from Mid-City in LA. Like, that's where I was from, Like, that's where I was raised my whole life, Mid-City, LA. And if you don't know where that is, that's the center of Los Angeles. A lot of cribs, a lot of 18th Street, is just dominant in that area. When I moved to Santa Ana, it was so different because for once I was surrounded by only Mexican people.
Yeah.
Like, I had diversity in LA, and then I come to Santa Ana and it's just 98% people Mexican, and the other two is like maybe Guatemalan, maybe a little bit of Salvadorian,
but you didn't see it a lot.
You didn't see it at
rare.
all. It was really hood. And like back in the day when I was like 16, I had this little boyfriend and he was like in a gang, and it was just, like he ended up in jail getting shot up at, and I realized I'm like, oh fuck, if I don't divert my life right now, I'm gonna end up like everyone else, and I just didn't want that for me. And although at that moment, as a teenager, that could be fun, like the thrill, really the anger,
even as an adult, it can be fucking fun. But then you really have to like think about like where are all these people ending up at?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I don't know if it was God. I don't know if it was an angel. I don't know if in the back of my mind, I knew where I was going to be in life. But I always just knew, like, this is so fun, but I can quickly wind down from this.
Yeah.
So I quickly changed my life.
Did you have a moment, like, in your life where you're like, yeah, párale y ponte las pilas?
Oh, absolutely. I took this boyfriend at the time that I had to my college campus, Santa Ana College.
Oh, period.
And I had this professor that was really helping me with my life and like everything that I wanted to do. And he was like, if you don't leave that man, like he straight up saw, like he saw me like walking with him on campus. He wasn't even enrolled in school, and he was like, if you don't make a change right now in your life, like everything you're doing right now in school and everything you're working for is invalid. And I was like, who is he to tell me like what the hell to do? Like, I'm gonna report his ass. I think that kind of stuck with me. And then like people would just stare. Like everyone, like all the professors, the people, like even in Santa Ana College, which you get diversity again, right? A little bit more. Everyone would just stare like at Afrika Gee with this like straight out, gecked out like gangster. And I was just like, damn, like maybe I don't fit with this person. And he had cheated and stuff. So I'm like,
Did it take a little time after that incident with your professor for you to be like, you know what, maybe my professor's right and maybe being with this person is only going to bring me trouble and not success? Or like right when the professor told you, like you're like, fuck you, I'm out.
So the funny part is that same week that professor told me, he ended up in jail and getting shot up. Like his whole car was like shot up. And I was like, I could have been there and I could have died. Because his car was like left and it was like shot up and he ran for his life because they got the llanta, so the car couldn't really just move. And while he was in jail, I had like this girl reach out to me and she's like, hey, I just want you to know that that's not just your man, that's our man. And I was like, damn, like life is really just hitting me hard with like all of this shit. So I just need to like...
Was it hard for you to pick yourself up from that situation? Because I feel like at such a young age too, I feel like a veces muchas jovencitas, mucha gente de esa edad piensan que toda su vida es el novio, que toda su vida es la personita que están con. Was it hard for you to be like, wow, my life's over, like my man's gone, like everything, to pick yourself up? Or you're like, you know what, I'm gonna take this as a sign and get the fuck up and do what I gotta do or do what I was meant to do?
To be very honest, it was a 2-year relationship. So I'd like to tell you it wasn't hard. But what made it easier is that like college. You know what I mean? You have the college parties, you have the football games. I ended up dating this like little football player that was like playing in Santa Ana College. And I just feel like that made it easy for me to transition out of that. But it was very hard in the beginning because at that age, you think that love is just like sunshine and rainbows and danger. And it wasn't that. It
really wasn't. How did you go from, you know, you went to college, estudiaste, you graduated. How did that Africa, going to college, tie into what you're doing now? Because I know you're doing the damn thing, bitch. And I've told you so many times. I told you, no, it's tampoco me entiendo. I told you a couple times cuando te miro, I'm like, damn, like it's like amazing. It's crazy seeing everything you've accomplished. How does all that tie to what you're doing now?
I went to Cal State Long Beach. And I knew I wanted to be a business major, but I went to school to actually open up a strip club.
Oh, period.
And I was like, okay, and that is in the hospitality and management industry. And I was like, strip clubs, bars, nightclubs. I was bartending at the time, and I wanted to learn like the ropes of running a bar and stuff. And I had a mentor. His name is Ty Lopez, and he's the guy that, I don't know if you remember, like A Book in My Garage, and he had like the Ferrari. I don't know if you remember. It was kind of viral, right? You guys know which one? Okay, but anyways, this guy, and he became one of my mentors and a really good friend. And he told me, if you get into this industry, just understand that you're going to be around a lot of bad energy. Yeah. And you're just not going to succeed at like what you think you will, because it's very corrupt in a way too. Yeah. And I was like, are we in Mexico or are we in Los Angeles? Because but I guess there's corruption everywhere, and I guess there's things that a lot of things we don't know, you know what I mean, that go behind the scenes.
And especially being a female going into this type of business, being a female can be very fucking intimidating.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that he had told me that, and he's like, why don't you try acting, or why don't you try something else? And I was just like, maybe, right? Like, maybe I could try that. Maybe I could do something, like, you know. But at the time, I feel like I didn't choose. I knew I wanted to do business, right? I thought I knew what I wanted to do, which was strip clubs, bars, and all that stuff. But life just completely took me on a different route. And I can't lie to you telling you that was planned. That just kind of happened. Yeah.
It just guided you. Do you feel like there was a moment in your life that you're like, wow, like my life is shifting in a new direction that you didn't think it would have been? Like, do you remember that moment that like shifted your whole life to the direction it is going now?
To be honest, yes, but not in a positive way. I feel like something really bad happened in my life, and it completely shook and shifted absolutely everything. And at that very moment, I was extremely, extremely depressed. I was extremely I felt alone. I felt like I was losing everyone and everything in my life. And I decided, I'm like, you know what? I think I should just do what I've always wanted to do, which was kind of get in the gym and work on my body. Because to be very honest with you, I've always been extremely skinny, like very, very skinny, and not like the healthy type of skinny. I was like 80 pounds, like at like 20 years old, which is not healthy. Yeah. And at 21, I decided to hit up like a trainer to train me. And at the time, my best friend was like, oh my gosh, there's this like amazing trainer. He's like transforms people's asses. Like, you have to see him. And I saw him, and he had like about 200,000 followers. And I was like, he's not going to hit me up. Like, he's not going to respond to me. Like, you know, like at the time, I think I had like 16K. I'm like, he's not going to know who I am. He's not going to respond. But I tried, you know, I tested my luck, and I messaged him. And now he is my husband.
You're like, and this history, it's
and
crazy.
And
this is the pregnancy announcement.
No,
that's crazy, because it's crazy how, if you guys don't know, if you guys follow Africa, and for those of you guys do, for those of you guys that don't, aquí les voy a decir, you've made your whole Instagram and your whole come up online has a lot of fitness to do with it.
Absolutely.
You've had a crazy transformation. You know what I mean? And for those of you guys that don't know, her fiance is the Booty King. How was that? How did that come about? Because girl, like, you went from training to marriage.
I gotta clarify, he is my husband.
Oh, you guys are, okay.
Yeah, we're married. We got married in the court, but we never had like our wedding.
Oh, okay.
And I'm glad, because as you know, you're invited. You know
I know, girl. I was like, wait, what do you mean? You guys got married already?
Yeah, we got married in the court 3 years ago. So we've been married legally 3 years. Yeah, it's been a while.
That's crazy. Wait, so how long have you guys been together for?
We got married 6 months after meeting each other. So that's actually 8 months. I'm sorry. 6 months, he became my boyfriend. And 2 months after, we got married. Crazy, but when you know, you just fucking know.
And how long have you guys been together for? Like 4 years now.
4 years that I've known him, because 3 years and 8 months or whatever equivalents.
You're like, I don't know, do the math,
3
bitch.
years I'm just kidding.
That's crazy, bitch.
Yeah.
What made you do that leap? Because that's a big step. I'm in a fucking 6-year relationship, and like,
are you ready?
I don't know. Like, not that I'm not ready. Like, I feel like it's not the time yet. You know what I mean?
I was scared.
Yeah,
I'm 22 years old. Like, I'm like, is that it? Like, is this
where
I
my
hang, you know? No, but I just knew. I knew that he was different. I knew that no one in this life would ever treat me the way he did. Yeah. Like, he would write poems to me and leave them with a bunch of white roses in my Porsche. You know? And then when he asked me to be his girlfriend, he took me to the first place we ever first met at, which was this restaurant.
Oh, I was going to say the gym.
The gym. We ever
the first date.
Not date, but like we went out to eat after workout.
Okay.
And it was the first day we had worked out, and he was kind of giving me the ropes. Like, this is how it's going to go. This is what I'm going to need from you. You're going to need your protein. You're going to need these meals. This is how many times you have to eat it. And like kind of educating me on the whole fitness life. And he took me to this like place in Orange County, and he took me there again when he asked me to be his girlfriend, and he had the waiter like bring this like origami style type of like thing, and like the lady brought it in like a like a whatever you call that thing,
Like
yeah, that thing. And
I'm
then
like,
and so I opened it and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I'm opening it, it's just like talking about how like we first met here, and then talking about like the qualities that he loves in me, and then he said, will you be my girlfriend? And he's just coming out with like a rose, and I'm like,
oh my God, girl.
me. Like, you're fucking kidding me. Like, and I just never had anyone like treat me the way he did. And he would always tell me, like, he would always literally be like, you're going to be my wife one day. I'm like, bro, I wouldn't even be your girlfriend. What
yeah, like, we're not even dating yet. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah.
And I was so adamant about not dating him because everyone on social media, he has a pretty big following on YouTube. And everyone there didn't like me because they're like, she has an attitude and she's not grateful for being trained by him. And you need to train one of us.
Like, people on social media just talk to talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I was just like, I don't want them to be like, oh my gosh, she's just trying to like, you know, like fuck him and like get trained, which wasn't even that. Like, he didn't even charge me, first of all. And it was because he was like, I'm not going to charge you, but let me document your entire
like progress. You were his
project
at the beginning.
Was my project. I was his first project ever. And that shit crazy. Blew him the fuck up. And so it was like, for like both of us. And we kind of like, I feel like God put two people that were in need and like there for each other, and he was like, this is that's when I knew he was the one, because number one, he would respect me and love me like no other man had ever besides my father, and he knew exactly what he wanted in life. And I loved that about him because I knew what I wanted in life, or so I thought, right? And then we blew up together.
That's crazy. It's crazy that you mentioned, you know, wow, bitch, I'm feeling inspired. I didn't know this whole story, bitch. Even me, I'm like, like, if I'm a put little clips in there, bitch, and I'm like, I am so intrigued with this story. You know, it's crazy, which leads me to my next topic, you know, like you said, you know, he created a big following, majority girls, because
99% female. That's his ratio.
99% females. You know, they call him the booty king. How do you feel, you know, as his wife, seeing him train girls? Because I feel like, you know, you get that a lot. Like, Africa, ¿cómo te sientes tú? Like, do you get jealous? Do you feel like this causes problems in your guys' marriage? How do you feel when, you know, you get these type of comments?
I feel like I get that so much. Like, how do you do it? How do you feel? But I really will say two things. Number one, I've naturally never really been the jealous type. Like, I don't know why. Like, I won't say.
No, I know why, bitch. Because you're that bitch.
I feel like yes and no, because I think every woman has their own insecurities, and I would lie to tell you that I feel like I'm perfect, because I'm not, right? I am human, and I have my own insecurities, you know? But I don't let them have power over me. But with him, number one, I'm not really the jealous type, and number two, it's in the man. Yeah. To make you feel protected, respected, and to know that there is certain boundaries. Communication is also another thing. If he tells me, hey, this person's gonna come and we're gonna train, or hey, I'm gonna go, and you know, all that, I'm okay with it. But if you start telling me that someone came to my house when I'm not home and I don't know this girl and you don't tell me anything, I might have a problem with that, because I think that it should be communicated. But I think very early on, I knew what he was doing, and I knew what was going to come with being his wife. And I think because we don't focus on like some malicious, like, oh my gosh, ass and fit. No, it's like empowering women. It's like showing them that they can get their dream body without having to spend 20, 30K, 40K on a surgery, which is completely okay. But some people don't have that money. Yeah. You know, some people don't want to get in debt and spend 20K on a BBL. And for those people, it's like, there's hope. You can do this at home, at the comfort of your home or a gym. And I think when we focus on the bigger picture, then there's no room for jealousy and stuff.
And I feel like also like it comes a lot to do with like you're also into fitness, so you know you guys are both in the same industry. It's kind of like when, you know, a rapper starts dating like someone that is like fuera de su industria. Obviously there comes to be a lot of tension, a lot, because they don't understand the industry. But you both, you know, como dices tú, you're also very understanding. You know what he's doing. You do it too. You know what I mean? Yes. You train, you know, you work out so you understand him, which comes to my next question. You know, you mentioned about, you know, the BBLs and everything. Y mucha gente ya en TikTok, like, you know, claim that your whole, you know, transformation, your whole ass, you know, transformation is, you know, ¿cómo se dice? Fake. Yeah. What do you have to say to those people?
You know, I feel like a lot of people not only just say, oh my gosh, you got a BBL. Oh my gosh, that couldn't have been done natural. They literally claim me of wearing butt pads, which I'm like not against, but no.
Like,
I've worked way too hard.
Bitch.
Yeah, no, I've worked way too hard for people to discredit me. And at first it would piss me off. And I'd be like responding and being like, you have no idea how hard I worked for this. Don't ever discredit me, because I had to go through a lot to get to where I'm at. And I mean a lot of physical, you know, push, having to force myself to eat when I didn't want to take another bite because I struggle to eat, right?
Yeah.
And so when people were discrediting me about that, I was like, no, that's not fair. But I feel like now, because Anthony was very in my ear, like, people are going to say that because people don't know you.
Yeah.
But the people that, like, do know my journey from the very beginning, and it was all documented on YouTube. So, like, you see my whole progress there. Like, the proof is actually there. Thank God. You know, thank God. Because
thank God, bitch. If not, it would have been harder to convince.
But you know what? I feel like when you see me in person, you know it's natural.
Yes.
Like, you for sure know it's natural. Because I don't look, you know, but I hit my angles. Like, you know, like, I hit my angles and I can make myself look enhanced. Like, a lot of people do, but I've talked about that too. I'm very blunt and very real and raw with, like, my followers. And I'll just, like, show myself with my stretch marks and show myself with my cellulite and show myself with a good angle and then a bad angle. And then I'll just, like, it's like, look, you guys, it's fucking real. And if you don't think so, it's probably just because you don't know me, but I don't blame you, because it's not easy. So sometimes it could be like, there's no way, but there is a way, and you can do it too.
And I feel like exactly what you said. I feel like majority of the time la gente que habla es porque es gente que quisiera poder hacer lo que tú hiciste, and that just for whatever reason, like, either they failed or they never tried. You know what I mean? And it gets a lot into people's head to where it's like, wow, like, I've been trying to achieve that. Like, I was never able to do it, but how did she do it?
Absolutely.
Like, how did she have the willpower? How did she do this? How did she do that? And a veces en el internet, you guys, nunca vas a ganar.
Yeah, true.
Nunca vas a ganar con la gente, porque la gente, yo lo que siempre digo, la gente habla porque tiene boca y nomás por eso. And it really is like that. Like, people will talk, like, bitch, like, I've been dragged, I've been used as a fucking broomstick, and I feel like you get over it and you get, you know, you start, te adaptas. And it's something crazy, because it's like, how do you, like, adapt to hate? How do you adapt to people talking shit? You really do.
Yeah.
You really just kind of have to be like, you know what? This is my life, and I'm always going to have people I don't know talking shit. But
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, you have to realize that it's more about them than it is about you.
Absolutely.
Like, all these words que dicen, all this shit that they claim online, it only will hurt you if you give those words power.
Absolutely.
And if you let them fucking, you know, get in you, then, you know, it's going to cause something in you. You know what I mean? But, you know, now that you're on social media, because I feel like you're growing so fast on social media, and you're really, you know, your presence online is becoming, you know, big. How do you deal with being now an influencer, being on social media full time, and managing all these business that you've created and still keeping up with everything you fucking do?
I'm gonna be honest, like, I always tell people, I'm not a fucking influencer, I'm a fucking CEO.
Period.
And I mean that because to me, social media is fun. And I get that people do that for work, and I love that. Like, I truly love that. But for me, my life is a little different. So when I'll go like 2 weeks without posting, and people will be DMing me like, are you okay?
Like,
what's
are you
wrong?
dead? And you're like, no, I'm working, bitch.
I'm like, I'm just working. It's been a crazy week at work. And it's just really that I want to prioritize my business first, because that's lo que va a sacar a mi familia adelante. Lo que va a poder comprarle a mi abuelita, a mi papá, y a mi mamá una casa. You know what I mean? So I prioritize that. Because social media can make you a lot of fucking money. Yeah. But I feel like I would just start too slow. You know what I mean? Like, it would just be where if I put my focus on this, then I can literally live the life that I want and be able to give my people what I want to give them. And then social media and everything else is fun to me.
Yeah.
And that's how, like, you know, when we go out and we have our things and, you know, we party it up, it's so much fun to me. And I just see it as fun.
It's more like it's not a job to you.
It's not a job to me. It's fun. So I do it at my time when I feel like it, because there's times where I'm just so exhausted truly from work and from doing everything I have to do. And another thing, I feel like sometimes I struggle with, like, are they going to take me serious when I'm in a meeting and I'm in front of a bunch of people and I'm telling them this is what I want and this is what we're going to do and this is how we are going to execute it, and I'm on social media shaking my ass. Like, I'm still trying to find a balance, because I want them to know that I'm still Afrika Gee, but don't get it fucked up, because I'm actually very fucking smart and I know how to run a fucking business. Because that's why I have 3, you know? So, I feel like it's just fun to me, and I don't know where it's gonna go. But I think that my main goal with my social media is to be able to inspire women, especially women like me, you know, who don't come from nothing, who come from a different country, come to something new and just, you know, build something for themselves.
Wow, you guys, I'm literally like, I have not like lost eye contact with you, bitch, because I feel so inspired. And bitch, I'm not even a woman, but I'm just like, whoa, like it's so crazy. And it's exactly what I said in the beginning of this. Like, you see you, and obviously you see a pretty face, you know, you see someone bomb, and it's crazy. Like, cuando en verdad empiezas a conocer a la persona, en verdad empiezas a que la persona te abra su libro, and you start being like, wow, like it took so much for the bitch that's sitting in my fucking sala right now to be where she's at now.
Yeah.
And it's fucking crazy.
Y lo que no contamos.
Exactly. Like, I'm sure there's like so much shit that you went through that we're not talking about today, that, you know, obviously a lot of the stuff, being on social media, a veces tienes que decidir qué es lo que pones out, qué es lo que no pones, what really will make a difference online and what really won't. You know what I mean? So It's so crazy. It's so inspiring. And I've never been, I don't know, like, I might just say this because, no, I'm not saying this because you're here, bitch.
Yeah.
I've never been so intrigued by a guest. Because a lot of the time we talk more about what's going on online. And I feel like today's episode, you know, like, I feel like you don't really publicize so much of your life online other than the trips, the glitz and the glam. So it's so different and so amazing to me to see the real person behind the bomb bitch we see on social media.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? So it's so crazy. I want to appreciate like you coming on here and really like speaking, you know, more than you actually do on your social media.
No, I appreciate you for having me here. When I told my friends, they're like, oh my gosh, that's so
I know.
cool.
I literally was like, I'm going to get Africa. Don't care if it takes us a couple weeks to do this shit, pero aquí estamos, you guys. So, ya que supieron un poquito de su historia, del chisme, I hope you guys are truly inspired, because como ella lo dijo, you guys, eso es su propósito being on social media, porque like you said, you can literally decide to shut your shit down and you still be a CEO. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to share your life out to the public, but you do it because it's for fun and to inspire.
Absolutely.
So now with that being said, you guys, we're going to go ahead and lighten up a little bit, and we're going to go to the Wheel of Pendejadas. All right, you guys, so como pueden ver, Africa spun the motherfucking wheel and she got the wild card. And with the wild card, we got the motherfucking alphabet game, you guys. Ese pinche juego como que sigue, sale y sale, you guys. Basically, para todos ustedes allá en casita que no saben how this game plays, production will give us a category. And in that category, me and Africa will go back and forth from A, B, C, D, and so on and so forth. And I wouldn't be feeling all educated, so on and so forth. I feel so proud that came out of my mouth.
I love it.
I'm like, am I catching up? But we're gonna go back and forth, and whoever doesn't give a word with that letter in the 5-second time frame loses.
Perfect.
The category is food.
Avocado.
Bologna.
And C is cucumber.
D. Fuck, donuts.
Eggplant.
What's the next letter? F. Flautas.
Gorgonzola. Is that a word?
I don't even know what the fuck that is. I was like, okay, next. Wait, what'd you say?
Gorgonzola.
What is that?
Is that a cheese?
Oh, it's food.
Yeah? Okay, okay,
I'm
okay.
like, sounds proper to me. What? H, hot dogs.
Fuck, am I gonna lose this shit? I think I am.
Ice cream.
Inge su madre, I was gonna
lost.
say.
I was like, finally I win, bitch.
See, you
This shit's
can't
getting
hype
hard.
me too
I
much.
hyped her up too much, bitch.
I'm
Only
like,
to set her up for failure.
I couldn't have thought of ice cream.
Ice cream. She's like, I don't eat that. I was like, that has carbs. She's like, of course you won the food category.
I was like, food, this was a trap, y'all. This was a trap.
She's like, I will eat salads, babe. So the next category is... Oh, I can do that.
Oh, okay. Let's do it.
Okay,
You start now this time.
All right. So the next category, you guys, is celebrities. All right. So wait, I start.
You start.
Alicia Keys.
Beyonce.
C. Fuck. Cardi B.
D. Drake. Duh.
E. Elon Musk. Oh, Moody's the. Wait, isn't he like the guy from the rich guy? Elon Musk. Elon Musk. I lost. Oh, he's a celebrity.
Artist.
Okay.
So not just music.
Oh, it's okay. Oh, I'm like, okay.
Farruko.
G. Fuck. G. Gerardo Ortiz. Ooh, I cut it close.
H. Hailey Bieber.
I. Alana. I'm like Lana Trump. I don't fucking know.
J Balvin.
K. Karol G.
L. Lennox.
M. Mariela del Barrio.
N. Nas.
O.
Oh shit.
Olivia Rodrigo. Oh shit.
P. Piers Moore.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know. I think I just made that up. Paris Hilton.
Oh, Paris Hilton. Okay. Q. The Quavo.
R. Rihanna.
S. Steven Fernandez. Oh no, Mood. That's all YouTuber. No, fuck. Wait. S.
We got to S.
Hey, Selena. But we got to S, you guys. I think that's a victory for both. I think we're ties. The tiebreaker, you guys, we have 1-1. The next and final round is locations. This can be anything from a state, a city, a country, anything.
Atlanta.
Boston.
California.
Delaware.
Ethiopia.
F. Florida.
G. Georgia.
H. Hawaii.
I. Illinois.
Jacksonville, Florida. Jacksonville. Yeah, it's a location.
K. Kentucky.
Louisiana.
M. Montana.
N. North Carolina.
Ohio.
Wait, P? Paso Robles, California. Paso Robles, California. Look it up.
Q. Fuck. Is this where I'm gonna fuck it up? Q. Fuck, you won.
Wait, what was Q though?
I was gonna say Quintana Roo.
Yes,
but I was like Q.
Cucumber.
Yeah, Q.
I won. Woo! All right, you guys. So we just got done playing that little game. Y qué divertido está, you guys. But before we end today's episode, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Africa para que ella nos diga what is next for you.
So you guys, what's next for me is just for my businesses to grow. So if you guys want to see a little behind the scenes or insight on that, I have a fashion fitness clothing brand called Rare Fit. I have a supplement brand called One Soul. I have gym equipment called Build a Booty. And then there's me on all social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram. I don't have Facebook, TikTok, all Afrika Gee.
With that being said, you guys, we're approaching the end of today's episode. If you guys want to go ahead and follow Africa on all her social media media so you guys can keep up with her and keep following her journey. I will leave all the fucking info down below, as well as my info, para que ustedes me puedan seguir y no se pierdan any future episode. And before we get off today, you guys, I want to remind you guys that if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to Noche de Pendejadas, the podcast on Apple Music, Spotify, or wherever the fuck you guys go ahead and listen to your guys' podcast at. And with that being said, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for opening up, and thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you guys in next week's episode. Bye guys.